Alright guys, running errands on Christmas Day. We need some last minute things to get our grub on, and I'm not exactly looking forward to that. However, I am looking forward to this specific question, and I was really glad when this question actually popped up on the question and answer proposal video, because I at some point was kind of confused about this one, and it was really nice to see you guys vote this one up, which means that in turn a lot of folks are going to benefit from hearing this, and hopefully I clear up a lot of misconceptions for you guys. So the question itself was, as bodybuilders, should we focus more so in having the best mind-muscle connection possible when training, or do we focus more on using the heaviest loads possible within a specific rep range? And I think what this person was trying to ask, and I think most of you guys can agree with this, is bodybuilders, we're after maximum muscle fiber recruitment when training, right? And they want to know what yields more of that, right? Simple enough. And I think a lot of you guys out there are going to, especially if you've been following me over the years on message board forums, are going to be like, crap, he's going to throw that whole mind-muscle connection thing out the window. But not so fast, not so fast. What I will say is that the load certainly plays a big role in how much muscle fiber you are recruiting. That is one thing I will say. However, another important variable in how much you're recruiting, and I guess more importantly, what you're recruiting, is going to be the movement itself. So as awesome as muscles are to just as the kids say, mire, as cool as muscles are to look at, their first job, they were put there to move things, right? To move you. So movement causes muscle activation, and of course we need a load. Duh. Otherwise I would just hold the front double bicep when I want to bring up my arms, and in turn I'd be a great poser and a bodybuilder without having to waste time training. But no, we need some kind of resistance training program. But yes, movements are important here, and understanding what is the best movement for the task at hand. And I think most of you guys out there understand that, I'm not going to do a bicep curl to stimulate the muscle fibers in my calf. And I think you guys are pretty good and advanced enough to know that, I'm going to do something like a calf raise to stimulate the muscles in my calf. And even within specific exercises, specific movements, slight variations within that movement, they're really going to change what's doing more and what's doing less now. A good example of this is going from a barbell deadlift to a trap bar deadlift. What's doing more now and what's doing less now, that's going to kind of move around just a bit. Still pretty much the same exercise, but a little bit more emphasis on some things and less on others. Same thing with the observation this person made with the dumbbell press. I guess when they were cross grip, he felt more pec. When he was more in a tuck position, he felt like he was getting a little bit more help from his tricep and not as much pec. So movements play an important role in what you're stimulating. Now, in terms of how much is stimulated and how much that is dependent on the load, once you've pinpointed what movement you want to do and how you want to do it, and if you want to add any variations to it, well, one thing we have to remember is that your body is frugal. It's not going to fire away. It's not going to fire fast twitch muscle fibers until it has to. And again, fast twitch muscle fibers, those are the muscle fibers with the most potential when it comes to getting jacked. So those are the ones we're looking to tickle, I guess. And let's say, let's compare two loads here. Let's compare a load at about 70% of your 1 rep max. Let's compare 70% of your 1 rep max to 80% of your 1 rep max. When you're lifting at about 70% of your 1 rep max, it's going to take a few reps for everyone to join the party. Okay? The big guns are not going to join in until they absolutely have to. With an intensity at about 80% of your 1 rep max, right around that point is where, for most folks anyways, from rep 1 everyone's joining in the party. So yeah, load goes up, you know, you're definitely going to be stimulating more muscle fibers within that specific region you're targeting with a specific movement exercise. So yes, if I'm curling a 20-pound dumbbell, it's gonna stimulate more muscle fibers within the bicep than if I was curling a ballpoint pen or something. Right? Simple enough. Why are people? I guess the main question here is people assume that as load goes up, that they're recruiting less. And that's not necessarily the case. I think the reason that a lot of bodybuilders correlate bigger weights to less stimulation, I think firstly it has to do with the fact that a lot of folks, when they increase weights on their movements, the movements change, and quite often they change for the worse. They get sloppy with their form, and you know, whatever was good form with a lighter weight is not necessarily a good form when you add a few pounds to it. So I think that's the first thing, is that folks, they make slight alterations to their biomechanics as weight goes up, which is why I really recommend people film themselves when they're lifting. It's quite often the way you think something looks is not the case. Trust me on that. Second is, I think that the higher rep ranges, the lighter loads, they tend to cause more localized pain, more localized fatigue within the muscle group. You know, the metabolic buildup of just those nasties. It just, I guess they hurt. And then the transient growth, the pump, you could say, all that stuff really confuses people because you see it more in the lighter loads. So, in a nutshell, you should not be stimulating less muscle fibers as the load goes up, so long as the movement stays the same. And that's why I used pictures of jacked athletes in the beginning, and you can see some more after this video, because it really just emphasizes the fact that, crap, okay, muscles move things, and these athletes, they're obviously moving, and they're jacked, by the way, but muscles move things, and so long as you stay true to the movement and you understand what's going to stimulate a specific region the way you intend, the way you're looking for, so long as that doesn't change, the weight should not bear any change or for the worse in terms of how much you're stimulating. So that's it, dudes. One more of these to go, and happy holidays and Merry Christmas to those out there who celebrate Christmas. I'm going to go into this supermarket now and try to come out alive. Later, guys.